FP McCann is primarily a precast concrete organisation. We're the largest precaster in the UK. My name's Brian Law. I joined the company 26 years ago when it was a much smaller operation back then. The turnover, for example, was probably 25 to 26 million pounds. For the last couple of years, we've probably had output of more than 1 million tonnes. From an overall point of view to the economy, our products reach into house building, rail, infrastructure, recreation, road building, bridge building, major civil engineering projects. Again, there's probably very few elements of the built environment that don't have some of our products in them. We have 20 manufacturing and depots across GB and Northern Ireland, so we have 9 factories in GB, and then across in Northern Ireland with a combination of quarries and precast factories, so a pretty big footprint across the British Isles. In FP McCann's, I think it would be fair to say that we're probably very heavily down the road of our digital transformation. Pretty much everything we do is digital work, which puts a bit of pressure on the IT team and myself in particular. But I think without the IT, and we've asked ourselves this question many times, how quickly would it be before the business started to struggle in the absence of IT? And the answer is probably pretty quickly. The IT team has 29 people in it, which is a long way from when I first joined the company 26 years ago. The topology of the network is generally, the data center sits here. We operate 2 Nutanix clusters here in DR data center and the production data center here. The majority of the staff connect via terminal services, so they come in over a remote desktop, apart from those users who are in the design function, which obviously requires a heavier footprint on the ground. Every single one of our site offices has a hypervisor infrastructure set up, and we're predominantly a Windows house, but everybody can dial in, again, from the branch office, or the hybrid working environment means that a lot of people work on site or some people work from home. So it's important for us to have an always up network that they can connect to. We manage 5,000 endpoints across 20 sites. So that can give a lot of problems, as you can probably imagine. So visibility was very important for us. Manage Engine made sure that we could look into not just the presence of a device, but dive deeper into the device and look at, for example, port mapping, switches, look at network utilization, any potential rogue IP addresses that existed on the system, and sort of where we don't have an official network access control or NAC system, we do use Manage Engine and OpManager to provide evidence that the IPs on the system are authorized IPs and are contributing towards the connectivity or the productivity, and not necessarily a rogue device. So that was very useful from that point of view. Being able to map out the racks was essential for us, in having the floor plans, because should a problem hit, particularly a connectivity problem, the one thing you cannot do is reach the device at the other end. So having a view of that allows us to be able to tell the person at the other side, to give us some indication as to what it looks like on the ground. So being able to tell people, look, can you go to a port or number 18, for example, on a 42U rack, is that device on or off? Is it showing any signs of life? That became a very important feature for us, that we knew exactly what devices were sitting in what racks. In terms of rogue devices, we have a number of contractors and a number of visitors coming to site. Everybody expects to have Wi-Fi and connectivity onto the network to do presentations or to do work on machines, and they're essential people coming into the business. They need the access to the network. It's very important that we have an overview of that and can inspect the traffic coming through to make sure that there's nothing sinister on those devices. I think it would be fair to say without Manage Engine's OpManager, we would have to have a lot more IT boots on the ground, particularly in our remote offices. We consider it almost like our 12th man, to use a football analogy. It's an extension of our IT team. It's an extra person, probably an extra 2 or 3 people in the team, doing a lot of work that would otherwise have to be done with human eyes. So Manage Engine provides the digital in-person, if you like, resource onto our team that basically is the eyes and ears on our network, not just through the day, but 24/7, 365. It's keeping an eye on the network. One of the good things about Manage Engine was it was also able to send SMS messages for higher level alerts. That's important to me, because not everybody looks at their emails when they go home at night, but most people will look at their text messages and go, what's that? They will glance at their phone. So if a text message comes through for a web server being down or the main website being down, that's a major thing for us, and that's something that would cause us to swing into action, whereas an email, it's questionable whether you would look at it until the next day. So it's nice to have that sort of tiered level of warnings. In our experience with OpManager and Manage Engine in particular have been absolutely plain sailing. It was very easy to roll out. The licensing costs weren't prohibitive, and I think in probably 6 years that we've had it, or maybe longer, I don't believe we've had a single support call with Manage Engine. It's never ever given any trouble. It's being installed, it runs 24/7, 365 and gives very little trouble, and it represents a huge piece of value for money for us.